This legend was found carved in a stele 4 kilometers from the Adderica Oil Field. The legend was found to be written in ancient Akkadian and Sumerian, with additional details written in Old Persian, the Median Old Kingdom hieroglyphics, and later graffiti. What makes the text remarkable isn't just how well preserved it is, but also the fact that large parts of the story are written in graffiti along with being carved into the stone. The text appears to have been written by several different writers across millennia, and the Conqueror addressed in the stele is believed to be Sargon of Akkadia, the world's first emperor, the world's first conqueror, the world's first villain. If you see the stele in the desert, weep and despair. This stele commemorates no victory. This stele marks no city. This stele marks no village. This stele marks no safety. This stele is built in the most barren part of the world, likely referring to the Akkadian Empire, which at the time was commonly believed to represent the known world, a place far beyond the reach and the eyes of the bastard king, the anointed of Anu, the king of the universe, the usurper of Uruk, the cupbearer of Ur-Zabab, the defiler of Kur, overseer of Anana, blade of Dagon, governor of the gods. May his name be forgotten in the sands of Kur. The usurper was born the son of a gardener with no father. He was trusted by King Ur-Zababa, ruler of Kish. But the king was ruled of the danger the bastard would serve to the king. But the king was not strong enough. Inanna granted her overseer power to resist and power to kill Ur-Zababa. With the old king's death, the usurper took power from Uruk, giving him a kingdom of 2 cities, a kingdom never before seen. But that was not enough for the bastard king. He took his neighbors by force, forcing them to dance naked in front of their subjects wearing only a wooden collar. The defiler stripped his prisoners naked before their execution, so they would spend eternity locked outside the gates of Kur, forever hungry, forever thirsty, forever freezing, forever cursing his name. Our priests, our soldiers, our magicians, our warriors, our heroes, all fell to his blade. They were told to serve him or they would die. Those that died, died horribly. Those that lived, lived lavishly. 2 cities were not enough for Dagon's blade. He led his priests, he led his soldiers, he led his magicians, he led his warriors, he led his heroes, all to new cities, to new horizons, to new lands. He destroyed Arawa and named the year after his conquest. He destroyed Elam and named the year after his conquest. He destroyed Mary and named the year after his conquest. Every year of his reign, he destroyed a city, and every year of his reign, he made it sure every one of his subjects would refer to the years by the name of the city he destroyed. So that way their names would only exist as his own triumphs and his own years. When he conquered Sumer, the governor of the gods led his troops into laying waste of the lands west of Lagash. From the gates of Lagash all the way to the sea to the west, it was rendered wasteland. No trees would be left for the birds to land on, no homes left for even the dogs to shelter in. The lakes were drank dry, the rivers dammed up. Any stone, hill, or mountain that could cast a shadow was ground into the finest of sand. Those that survived were given the choice of enslavement or starvation. There are no freemen west of Lagash, only his slaves and the barbarians of Kemet and Argiv. He washed his weapons in the upper sea and thanked the gods for giving him the upper and lower seas. It is said in the upper sea that the blade of Dagon agreed to belong to Dagon in exchange for power. It is said that he was given a crown that would give him power above all men. With his power from Dagon, the defiler took the cedar forest, the silver mountains, ruling the world from the upper sea to the lower sea. No rivals remained, no cities remained free from him. The ships sailed for him, and in his army stood 5,400 heroes. In this case, likely meaning eximi or superpowered individuals, who ate bread with him daily. For 54 years, the bastard king ruled 34 cities. He had 5,400 heroes to serve him, and none under all of heaven were strong enough to challenge the governor of the gods. But like all in the world, even the anointed of Anu is vulnerable to time. He died peacefully in his sleep. Even the ghosts of those he slayed feared him while he wore the crown. But the mortician was clever. They buried the dead defiler in a crown of painted lead, and Dagon's crown was smuggled out of Akkad. The bastard king's bastard prince spent time, spent money, and spent men trying to dig up his father's corpse for the crown. It bought time for Dagon's crown to be carried to the edges of the earth. Here, in this barren desert, the crown is kept, beyond the reach of even the most extraordinary of heroes. We are so far from the nearest town that a horse would die of thirst before it gets here. We are so far from the nearest trade route that any man who makes it here will not survive a trip back. There is no grass, likely meaning crops, in this land. There is no rain. There is no beast. The only spring in this land is one of foul idu, crude oil, the thick black water that no plant, no man, no beast, nor insect can drink even the smallest drop of. Idu burns easily. Idu burns hot. Idu burns so fierce even water cannot quench it. The Idu is worthless to wise men and dangerous to foolish men. The crown lies on the bottom of the Idu spring. Let anyone desperate enough to try and find it try. You will die before you ever get close. If you are reading the Steele, you are already dead. Even if you travel to Susa, you will die before you ever reach them. There are no supplies for you here. Know this, my reader. I, the carver of this steel, knew I would die when I came here. I knew that I would die the moment I stole Dagon's crown. But our world does not need another defiler. Let my body rot. My words will endure long after everyone forgets the name of the blade of Dagon. Look upon my steel and know that if you know my story, that you are already dead. The oil spring did remain untapped for millennia. What the carver and their conspirators did not realize was that Adderica would be founded nearby, only 7 kilometers from the spring. New advances in digging wells would mean that people could settle nearby, and as more millennia passed by, the Idu of the Akkadians would grow more valuable than gold, as petroleum found countless uses in the modern day. So now what was once believed to be a bottomless pit of poisonous pitch now became liquid wealth flowing through the Achaemenid government and corporations. Even the crown of Dagon was eventually found, heavily tarnished and nearly destroyed by the oil rig's equipment. Whether it is an esoteric artifact with power or merely a relic with a story behind it, it is not known at this time. The artifact is kept locked away at the National Museum in Parsa, far from the public eye.